What is up, you guys? Glitchiz here, and welcome back to the channel. Today is a very special day. I've got an amazing video for you guys, as well as some crazy big announcements. First up, it is one of the most requested videos that you guys have been asking for on the channel within the comments section. So I'm happy to finally be able to bring it to you. But second, we have some really big news that I wanted to share with you guys, and that is that because of all of your amazing support over the last few weeks, we officially made it to 4th place in the world for the Once Human Pioneer program with our How to Keep Your Deviants Happy guide. It is a little bit outdated. I have the new one that'll hopefully surpass that one here shortly. But as it stands, we are currently 4th in the world for this competition for the prize pool. And that is up against people like Asmongold, who's got over 2 million YouTube subscribers. I've only got a little over 4,000. So the fact that a little tiny C-list YouTube content creator like myself was able to make it in the top 5 is absolutely amazing, and I can't thank you guys enough for that amazing support that you guys have been giving on these videos. I've been having a blast making them for you, and as long as you're watching them, I'm going to keep making them. Hopefully there isn't too much of a lull in between now when this current beta ends and the next one, because I want to keep making content here as soon as possible. But without any further ado, the video that I wanted to bring you guys today is the long anticipated base tour. Not only am I going to be showing off the Synapse Stronghold, but I'm going to be giving you a lot of building tips that you can do with your own bases to make them a little bit more efficient, a little bit better, maybe show off some key locations that are nice for building bases at each tier, so on and so forth. So without any further ado, let's jump into it. So here we are at the Synapse Stronghold. We've got our little outdoor garage here with our hive truck. We've got our 4-floor base, 360 degrees. Let's do a little drive around tour here. From the outside first, I think. We'll make it quick. And we've got a few surprises to show off. Some people have already figured it out and even left messages in the base. They hunted me down on the server and left some echo messages saying hello. But yeah, nice little hexagonal base design, which is one thing that I would recommend. That's tip number 1, and I'll tell you why. But moving on, we have the main entryway, our mailboxes, some sandbags, and as you can see, it's built in a hexagonal shape with a kind of a star turret formation around the outside. All of these turrets are level 3. We calculated it out to, with the electric eel, be able to power, I think it's 12 turrets total, surrounding the entire base. And they alternate between a shotgun and a rifle. So we've got heavy duty close range damage if deviants get up close during things like echo stone extraction or forget what the other little orbs are called right now. I'll get to it when we get to the top, but you know what I mean, the base defenses. Yeah, we haven't had any problems with this defense style. So I'll quickly run around here. I don't want to go all the way around because I want to save that for a bit, but one thing I will point out, at least for the turrets, and this is a big thing that I'll get to once we get to the 3rd floor, our main little command center hub, if you will, is you'll notice all of these turrets are connected to their own individual power supply. And I have the shotgun turrets and the rifle turrets separated on different electrical links. And there's a reason for that as well. But keep that in mind when we move forward. Another tip is for defending your base. Anywhere that you have a window, I recommend throwing sandbags down. You'll notice that as a theme around our whole base. One thing that I did notice when you're defending your base is that the deviants, when they're storming and trying to get to the resonator, have a tendency to actually glitch through walls, and in particular, windows and doors is the first thing they try to get through. So by throwing down some simple sandbags in front of any like non-fully wall opening, like a door or window, will delay them a little bit longer and give you a chance to take them out more easily. So that is the main thing. Over here, you guys have already saw, we've got our little fuel refining facility. We put that near the garage for obvious reasons, so we can quickly take it in and out for our hive truck. But moving on here, Welcome to the Synapse Stronghold. Let's head into floor 1. So as you can see, welcome to my crib. This is all the highest tier, at least in the beta, crafting materials. It's all the cement. The black marble flooring is the default texture for the top tier cement foundations. But we wanted to go with a little two-tone, so we spiced it up a notch. And basically the bottom floor, what we ended up going with is just strictly crafting and item and weapon storage. Originally we had our kitchen and things on this floor and some furnaces and things like that. But once we get to the second floor, our infamous deviant room, which you guys have already taken a look at in my previous videos, I'm sure, we noticed that things like the stove, furnaces, refrigerators, any extra appliance that produced heat was penetrating through walls and ceilings, so it was throwing off our deviants. So we had to come up with a unique idea to keep those functional appliances in our base, but not have them directly underneath where the deviants are located. So we just completely removed it altogether. So we've got all of our storage broken up. Gravel, the main ones that we have a lot of, we have separate boxes for. Our deviant items, logs, just because we get a ton of those. We've got a section here just for tactical items. Over here we have the craftable mats, so any of the generic mats that you just pick up and get from breaking down and dismantling all of your junk. Over here we have raw materials and refined materials. And then we have a weapon storage crate and an armor storage crate, so you can put your spare loadouts, like both of me and my buddy have. Actually, I don't at the moment, but my buddy, he's our go-to farmer. He goes and gets all of our materials a lot. That's one thing he likes to do, so good on him. But he's got a whole set that he made just for farming, and he doesn't want to carry it around all the time, so we made sure to have a space to put our extra loadouts in there so we're not constantly carrying them. All maxed out tier 3 workbenches, the tier 3 armor, supply bench, weapons bench, and the tier 3 synthesis bench. Moving on, you'll notice in the center we wanted to be a little unique, and we went with a fully tier 3 cement spiral double helix, kind of like a DNA strand stairwell. So that way, regardless if you're coming in from the back entrance, which is our fun little area that I'll show off here in a minute, or the front main entrance, you have a stairwell right in front of you that you can quickly go up to access the different floors. Moving on to the second floor, I won't spend too much time on this, but this is the infamous deviant room that all of you guys have seen, with our setups for all the different deviants we've captured, and we have captured all of them. There's the glass jellyfish there. That's the final one that you get, with all of the unique setups. One thing that I will mention, that I mentioned in that deviant video, is again, I have power switches hooked up to all of the deviant containers that run power, as well as a primary power switch on our command center, which controls all the major ins and outs of power usage throughout the base for power management. It's super handy, especially if you know you're about to do a base defense against some deviants and things like that. You can quickly shut down big chunks of power from major portions of your base all at once instead of having to do it individually, and power up all of your turrets. So that is a nice little tip. One the thing I'll keep repeating is power is key in this. You want to be able to manage your power efficiently. And so getting these power boxes, getting these switches is a very handy tool, and something you should definitely take in consideration when building out your base. You'll notice I'm kind of OCD when it comes to wires, so all of them are hidden either under floors, down the cracks of walls, things like that. But moving on, we have the third floor. This is our domicile, if you will. We've got our bed here. This is just our little hangout spot. Got some computer desks, a little reading corner, some piano, some more lounging sections, and this is our nerdy statue collection, our model collection. Some of the little model figurines that we've collected, we just put those on a shelf. So that's kind of a cool little display we've got there. And we went, and my buddy's big into the blueprints for all of the furniture. So he's got some of the top of the line furniture from all the vendors. He pretty much unlocked all of them. So we got some cool stuff here set up. Moving on. Oh, and by the way, we do have a little separate door here. I won't I'll give you a little sneak peek, but that's part of the surprise here. Moving on to the top floor. Well, technically not the top floor, the third floor. This is our power hub and resonator floor. As you can see, we are super organized with our power management. We have utilities power. This is basically all the things in the base that we have to use like 24/7, like our main refrigerator, stove, certain lights potentially. That only uses up 8 watts total. We kind of put the wattage that everything on that line uses just so we can have a mental note of it as well. Click that one button on and off. All the lights, all the refrigerators, all the things, if we wanted to, can be shut off instantly. Then we have our deviant room. That is the second floor I showed you guys with all of our deviants. That takes up the most wattage. So if I want to power that down super quick in a PvP situation, give us all that extra bonus power to light up a bunch of new turrets, we can click one button and that entire floor will basically shut off and give us all that power back. Moving on, and this ties back to the note that I gave in the beginning of the video, we have our shotgun turrets separated from our rifle turrets. So if it's just a small wave we're doing and we know we don't need all of them and we want to run a couple things at the same time, we can do both, or we can do just half and half and have just the shotguns running or just the rifles running. Those are 72 watts each across all the different guns. One thing I would want to mention that I haven't fully tested yet is we have all 12 level 3 turrets, which do a decent amount of damage, but I am curious if number, like the quantity of turrets may be better than the power of the turrets right now in the beta. So I'm tempted to break down some of the level 3s and make like 2 times that number in level 2 turrets, so we have more turrets that are a little bit less powerful, because one thing I noticed is the rate of fire can get locked down, and so the more turrets you have, then the more chances that you're going to be getting additional hits on enemies more frequently. So that is one thing I'd like to test, just because it is like an exponential growth for the power usage that these tier turrets take. I believe it's only like 4 for a tier 1 turret, then it's 8 for a tier 2 turret, and then like 12 or 16 watts for a tier 3 turret. So they take up a lot of wattage when you're using them, at least the tier 3 ones do. So I'm tempted to try the probably like a tier 2 range, and if that's the case, we could potentially double the amount of turrets that we have. And I'd like to not only have them on the first floor, but if you look down, because the deviant rooms kind of jet out, we could have turrets all along the sides on the second floor as well. So that would help defend off some of the flyer deviants that might be able to get up a little bit quicker. So that's another strategy that I think we might implement here. We're still kind of in the process of upgrading things a little bit, but the purpose of setting up like this is it's very easy to reconfigure, and everything's all set up with one main power source, so I don't have to redo a ton of wires. I can just place some new ones where I want, hook them up, and then as long as they're attached to the main line, they're good to go. Moving on, we have the garden and farm power. This is a cool little area. We call it the Cafe Glitchiz. And I'll show that off next, I think, after our solar panel, once we get to the roof. But that's only 8 watts. That is basically our outdoor furnaces, our outdoor kitchen area, our water irrigation, our grow lamps, things like that, which may or may not be bugged right now. We haven't done a lot of farming, but it is set up and ready to go for it. So cool little instant switch for that as well, and that'll shut down all of our irrigation and farming equipment with one push of a button. And then if you see here, we have a sign for the resonator room. One thing I highly recommend in all of your bases is the deviants tend to try and take the path of least resistance to get to your resonator when you're doing extractions, whether it be a stone or, now let me look up this name because I forgot it, the cortexes. So throw a bunch of those in and that's how you start the defenses. But yeah, they like to try and find a path of least resistance to it. So I highly recommend building a room within a room for your resonator, because that means that even if they did get through all of your turrets and get to the top floor, they're gonna have to break through all of these walls first before they can get to your resonator. So we have the resonator set up, but we've got it walled in within our walled in floor. That way it just gives us a little bit of extra time, and you could help defend the base a little bit longer and kind of detour some of the enemies when they're running around. Last but not least, before we go back to the cafe, is our little solar panel roof. We found these cool street lights, kind of like industrial compound lights, so we threw those up with a cool little design. Again, the two-tone on the roofing. And this is where our 6 max level Hive solar panels go. And these are all daisy chained together with, like I mentioned in the command center floor, individual power lines running to the specific areas we need it to power each part of our base. So cool little unique looking setup. Plus, you just get some killer views up here, and you can get some high ground on enemies if it's a PvP situation, like if you're doing an Echo Stone. You can see enemies in this area from a long way off. You don't have to worry about it. Another reason why I really like this area on the map for our base is it's super flat. Once we get a larger warband, like in the next beta or when the full game releases, I'm hoping to get a lot more people. It's a super wide open area, and you can fit a ton of bases nearby, so potentially a full squad of like multiple hives could be in this same zone, and you've got plenty of room on all sides. There's also a ton of high level raw materials and ores. Pretty much every ore deposit you could think of is around this area. And not to mention that, but we also are surrounded on all sides by a fishable river. So we have that. And last but not least, the coolest perk is just over that hill on the other side of the river, and on this little island right here. Oh, looks like we got a new neighbor. But on this little island right here, those are both spawn locations for public events. So we constantly see those glowing pink circles in the sky, like every 30 minutes right next to our base. So not only do we have the ability to farm easy acid and things like that with the quick public events that take like 30 seconds there, but this base location is also right next door. You can see off in the distance to the location of the Theta Silo, which is one of the fastest and most efficient locations to farm energy and acid in the late game. So this one little area is super helpful. There's also a PvP frontier nearby, so if you claim this area early enough, I'm giving all of our secrets away here, so don't take our spot once we join it. But yeah, you got some oil rigs over there for once your warband gets bigger. You can cap one, and you're right next door to it too. So this is a great spot that we found. Great spot for anyone. But yeah. But one thing before we go to the farm, my buddy surprised me and did some remodeling to the base, and I thought this was super cool, and I wanted to show it to you guys. But I don't know how he thought of it, but he managed to implement the Glitchiz logo. I don't know if you guys can see some similarities here, but he implemented the Glitchiz logo into our base. And it makes sense because the Glitchiz logo is a hexagon shape, and we built our whole base as a hexagon, not a triangle, so he just took that idea and ran with it and made almost like a little helicopter pad. And what I think I want to turn this into is like a little like hangout spot. One person, actually, I might as well read it because I thought it was a little funny. One person surprisingly already like hunted me down from YouTube after watching the videos and found the base and noticed that we implemented the Glitchiz logo into the base design. So Gare Bear Rar 2, congrats, my man, you figured it out. That was the secret for this video. But yeah, he found the logo. But I just thought that was so cool that my buddy was able to figure that out. I mean, I feel like that deserves another quick glance, because how many creators can say that they've got their logo built into their base? I think that is a really cool feature. We're going to get probably some couches or something out here. And hell, maybe this could be the little like thank you section. Any fans or friends of the warband, y'all can come here. This will be our little flower garden. This will be the place where you can leave your messages to me if you want something to say, ask a question, maybe, whatever. And yeah, let's get a whole yellow flower garden down there. I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, so we got the Glitchiz logo in the base. And last but not least, we'll go down and we'll show off Cafe Glitchiz. This is where we ultimately decided to move our kitchen, our outdoor kitchen area, our farming area, as well as some of our like mass-produced low-level furnaces and stuff. So here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, look at that. Right at sunset, too. It's almost like I timed it. So here we are. We've got our first little 3x3. Check out my farming guide. Farming setup. We went with the Italian, Victorian style amphitheater look, outdoor cafe look. We've got, you'll notice that I no longer on any floor have rain catchers. That is because we are upgraded to the water pumps. I may or may not make a video. Once you know how to make a farm and you know how the piping and stuff works, the water pump is pretty straightforward. You can put it in any either body of water or straight into the ground, and it will just infinitely, as long as it's connected to power, pump water from the ground, so you don't need to worry about catching rainwater. As long as electricity is running to it, it'll constantly be pumping. And then if you have to bring it from a different elevation, because the piping normally has to do with gravity, that's why our rain catchers got to be on the top floor. You can actually ignore that with the water pumps by adding this little pressure valve. The pressure valves you can mount anywhere, and depending on the direction you put it, you can actually reverse the flow of gravity really and pump it in any direction that you want. So you can pull it from other areas and kind of feed it into things that are on totally different floors in directions that you normally wouldn't be able to put a pipe. So yeah, we can just hook this up, connect it to any of our irrigation systems whenever we want, and use that master switch up in the control room to just turn the whole irrigation system on whenever we want, and power all of our farming stuff. And obviously that would all connect through our osmosis purifier, which will also give us purified water as well at the same time. But in the front, we just got a bunch of our mini furnaces. These, to be honest with you, are pretty much just used for coal, because you can never have too much coal. All of the major crafting materials have coal as a requirement as a base. So we just got a bunch of them so we can burn through it super quick to start focusing on the higher tier materials. Moving on, we've got our kitchen storages. So we've got purified waters here, dirty waters there. Our meads and alcohol fermentation barrels. This might be another purified water. Moving over here, more purified water, more boiled water for teas, things like that. We've got a little meat drying rack with meat that's been preserved, and a nice little alcohol stand. I believe you can store things in here as well. So this is where we put all of our finished beers. So it's a cool little bar table that we unlocked. Here is our outdoor kitchen with our fridge, max level stove, with pretty much all of the legendary recipes unlocked. And then last but not least, our table for two, me and my buddy Neo, sitting at dinner during sunset. We have our seasonings containers here. We got one dedicated just to salt, which we put on this side because it's right near the meat drying rack for when we want to make jerky. And this one here is our spices and oils crate for all of our generic, like peppercorn, corn oil, sugars, and masala. So those type of ingredients are used for a lot of cooking stuff too. So we've got all that organized and together in one place. And then last but not least, we got our little decomposition bin, and this is where we store temporary spoiled food and all of our seeds. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Got the little balcony stairwell that leads all the way up to the Glitchiz helipad. I'm gonna call it the Glitchiz fan pad moving forward. And yeah, from what I've found, the way we have it set up now, we haven't had any issues with deviants instantly spawning on this floor, just because of the barricades and things we have set up on the bottom floor. So we haven't had any too many problems with that. As long as you don't have built structures on top of this, they don't usually spawn there. All of our structures are on the main floor. But yeah, we have the back stairwell entrance, leads you right up to the main base. Ideally, I would like to close off this little open area for the stairwell. So we may try and do a different entryway for that moving forward. And then again, all these little jetties here where the walls are extended out from the deviant room, I might test out with level 2 turrets for quantity over quality testing for how the guns hold up. But yeah, that is pretty much it. That is the Synapse Stronghold. That's the name of our hive, our warband. Once the next beta drops and when the official game launches, if you guys are fans, if you want to join us, anyone is going to be welcome. I'll be sure to announce which server we end up joining when the time comes, and you guys can feel free to join us. We've got a lot of tips and tricks on places to build bases that we hunted down. I don't want to give too many locations away because we're going to want to snag them up ourselves. I'm sure you guys know how quickly, at least in the early game, some of those spots can get taken up. I'll show off some of the spots real quick where we were building when we were first starting out and we were newbies. So right around where, where's the first town here? Not Greywater Camp. Was it Deadsville? So we were right, basically, Myers Market. It wasn't Myers Market, it was Deadsville. Right along this river, I think. This riverbed. Yep, because there was a bridge there. We had a base set up there. That was where our very first bases were. We were right along this river edge. And the reason we liked that was because this high bank stronghold was right behind us. So no one could really build behind us because you have to be a certain distance from strongholds. But there was also a ton of low-level mineral deposits and trees, like right out your back door. So there was plenty of gathering materials at all times there that would just constantly be respawning. So we built around that area. Pretty much anything along this river early on was pretty nice, we found. I know our second one that we went in Chalk Peak was, I'm sure you guys saw when we did the farming guide and the water system storage guide. We had a nice background view of the little vineyard here. So we were actually right along this mountain in this area. I won't tell exactly where, but yeah, this whole fields area all through here and all through the front sides of the vineyard on either side have a ton of mid-game refined material ore deposits as well. So that was another great spot that we found. But by far, in my opinion, for late game, I feel like this big little peninsula here was the greatest location we found for an end game base. And like I said, it's right near a PvP frontier that we can potentially capture eventually, the silo. So great location, great views, and a great stronghold. So we did good this beta. I think it turned out pretty cool. Still got a little bit of testing to do, but yeah, that is the base. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You don't have to go, but you gotta get out. That was the Glitchiz Synapse Stronghold crib tour. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave a comment down below and smash that like button. And as always, if you want to keep up to date with all my future content, consider subscribing and joining us on the channel. One thing I haven't mentioned yet that I would highly recommend is if you guys are looking for like-minded individuals that play Once Human and want to help find groups and you're not on the official Discord, I do have a Discord for the channel. Links for that are down in the description below. Feel free to join us. We've got hundreds of people in there that are all like you, that have the same passion for games. We've got categories for Once Human in there, categories for all types of games. So feel free to join us. It's a great little community we've built up over the past few years. So we'd love to see you around. But until the next one, you guys, hope everyone has a great day, and we'll see you all later.